Welcome everybody to another edition of the Joe's Bot podcast. We got Brenda Garza in the house today. What's up?
Whoop, whoop. Hey,
Hey Brenda, how are you?
I am doing amazing. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Brenda, you're coming off of a hot week, aren't you?
Heck, yes. Hot week. It's been a weekend and I'm literally still the nervios. It's crazy.
Man, okay, so Brenda Garza, actress extraordinaire. Wow.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because I was a complete closet actress, like definitely, until this audition came through. So yeah.
So the audition to the title of the film, which is
You Are My Home, which is now streaming on Netflix. It premiered on Friday and it's been overwhelming. It's only been a couple of days, and I mean, I couldn't have asked for more from not only just the community in general, but my friends and family who are being so extremely supportive right now. It's unbelievable. So it's been good. It's been good.
Man, Brenda. Okay, so you're on Netflix on that film that you just mentioned. One more time, the title of the film?
You Are My Home.
You Are My Home. Now, you are are you a supporting role, a leading role? What are you?
I am a supporting role. I play Luisa, who is a mom who's a really hard worker, and something happens. And so it kind of takes you on the road to what happens to the daughter. And
you just gave it all away.
No, I can't give anything away because there's still a lot of people that haven't seen it. Shush.
All right, this interview
No me
is
pongas
over.
de nervios. No me pongas de nervios. Cállate.
A ver, nombre Luisa. Okay, Luisa is your character's name now.
Yes.
Okay, so man, okay, my question here is you're very nervous. Obviously, this is something that is something very fresh, very new for you.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
So yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about that actress role in you. I mean, how did you land that? What happened? What inspired you?
What inspired me? So I'm going to have to go back a little bit for that. So I knew at a very young age, I think my daughter's age right now, she's 8. I knew at that moment that I wanted to do something on television. I remember looking at the television back then, those square big boxes. And I remember saying, I want to be on there. And Lord and behold, because God is amazing, doors just kind of kept on opening for me, whether with school stuff. And then after I graduated and I came out a little bit more out of my shell, things just started gravitating towards me. But I love being in front of the camera. I love reporting and kind of showcasing the Valley. So that's kind of what I did at first. I had my own TV show, Club Affairs. After that, I had co-hosting shows, in both Spanish and English, channels. But that thing in me was always like, dude, I think you'd be good at acting. And when your brain tells you stuff like that, like, I think you'd be good at this, take it seriously. Sometimes you are meant to do that. And I kid you not, I'm part of the film festival, the South Texas International Film Festival. And then now you're surrounded by like-minded people and you're getting more like, I think I could do it. I think I can do it. And you're trying to crawl out of that box that is just there, even though I love being in front of TV. It's so weird. And so then I saw that they were auditioning for this film. And I was like, I think I could do it. I mean, this role kind of sounds like me. I think I could play her. And I remember vividly getting to the parking lot, backing out, going back in, backing out, and going around the parking lot because I was so scared out of my wits. I was so scared that I was just going to make a fool of myself. I've never acted before. I've never auditioned before. And I'm like, you know what? If you don't freaking do it now, you're never going to do it.
Wait a minute.
And
Wait a minute. You've never acted before? You mean to tell me you've never asked your significant other for a purse and just
oh, bad at the eyes, like no, oh my gosh, no. I love making my friends laugh. I think that's a little acting in me, kind of,
uh,
but in a sense of like, oh yeah, let me portray this character and let me see how I do it. It's, dude. I mean, come on. Sometimes you've seen really good actors, and sometimes you've seen some that are just like, and I didn't want those faces looking at me saying, you literally screwed this up.
right.
So I kid you not, I finally decide, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. And dude, I'm not getting any younger either, right? So I literally just put on my cojones, guts of glory, and I walked in and I see all these people in there. There's kids, there's adults, there's you know older people, and you can hear people auditioning. And I was just there like, let me write down my name, let me put down the what I'm going for. And I'm freaking out. People have pieces of paper with them, and I'm like, where'd they get that paper? Who do I ask? And they finally call me in, and they're like, okay, do you have your I was going to say lyrics. Do you have, the, oh my gosh, what is it called?
The
The
script, the
script
lines?
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, do you have the script with you? And I'm like, no. They're like, we emailed you. I'm like, no, I never got the email with the script. And they're like, oh, okay, well, here's the script. You have 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh crap, I need to now literally read this in 5 minutes.
For you
My
direct
whole, I'm sorry?
for you directors out there that are listening right now, Brenda Garza is now available for the leading role of the employee who does not check her emails.
No. They never sent it. Okay. They never sent it. I have an excuse. No. And so I'm like, thank God it wasn't like something that was extremely long. For some odd reason, I actually like absorbed it.
Yeah.
They call me up. I go in there. I am literally petrified. Again, I've never acted in my life. And I was just like, okay, I got this. Sure. I'm breaking the ice here, trying to kind of be like, hi, whatever. My name is Brenda, blah, 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 blah. Because that's how I feel more comfortable. Once I kind of, break the ice a little bit, you get to know my personality a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, just don't look into the camera. And when we say action, just go. I'm like, okay, simple enough.
Yeah.
And I just turned it on. And I would, even as it's so weird how you're literally in the moment acting out, but you're still realizing, you're like, holy crap, you're literally doing this. And it's so weird. But I was like fighting them off, and I was like, yeah, whatever, because there was some stuff going on and I had to do that. And they kept asking me, okay, do it different ways and things like that, and do it like this, and I'll do it like that. And then all of a sudden, it's between me and another auditionee. And so you're just going back and forth, and now with a different child, and go back and forth. Now, okay, no, let's do another kid, and okay, come back. Okay, now bring in the other auditionee, and you're hearing all this as they're auditioning.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah,
as it's playing out, it drives the nerve, I would imagine, like through the roof.
It's terrifying because I'm like, am I even good? Like, you start literally doubting yourself. And then I will never remember. I remember I was auditioning with Maneli Cepeda, who actually is a young actress from the Valley that came out on A Latin Lover with Eugenio Derbez and with Salma Hayek. And I was auditioning with her, and I was like, dang, dude, this girl is good. And I remember coming out of that audition, I was sweating after I auditioned with Maneli. I was sweating. I was nervous. I was so thirsty that they had to get me water. And I remember finally sitting back down because they told me to wait. And I sat down next to Maneli's mom, and she told me, oh my God, I am her mom. And I literally wanted to cry with your performance. I'm like, oh, you heard that? And she's like, yes, we all heard it. And everybody was just looking at each other like, oh my God. Yeah. And that's when I was like, maybe I was good. You know what I mean? Because now you're getting that affirmation from someone who doesn't even know you, but that's her daughter in there. And she's feeling like she's not even the mom anymore. She's feeling for this relationship that's going on. Yeah. And so that's when it kind of just hit me like, maybe this is something kind of cool that I can kind of do. And Lord and behold, 2 weeks later, they told me I had the parts. Fast forward this to like last year. And I remember the news broke that Alyssa Milano, a childhood favorite of mine, was in the Valley, gonna shoot a film. And I'm over here like, that is so fucking awesome. Sorry, pardon my language. And I was
starstruck.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, who doesn't remember who's the boss? For reals, like for reals.
I don't think anybody remembers that.
Shut up, you. Yes, everybody does. How old are you? I'm pretty sure I'm pretty much older. It was in the 80s. And I remember her from Who's the Boss and looking at her and being like, man, like if I wish I could do that. And then I saw her in Charmed, which had a huge longevity, and is now in syndication, obviously, and on Netflix and yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. And then I saw her finally again on Insatiable on Netflix. And I'm just like, oh, I love her character. She has like a Southern accent, the whole 9 yards. I was like, I wonder if I could do that. And then finally, like, obviously Project Runway on Bravo. So dude, from her being very young and she's still doing what she does, there's something to it. Because a lot of them do fizzle out. It's the industry. You're in one day, you're out the other. And
why does that happen though? When recently I was watching a news article and we were, I was reading it, and then I saw a video related to it, and they were talking about how individual actors, for whatever reason, can be blacklisted from the film industry. I mean, does that happen? I mean, have you heard of that?
I haven't, only because again,
you're very new.
I'm still a baby. I'm still a baby at my age.
Whatever. You've been blacklisted a long time ago. Just kidding.
Yeah. But I did though. I kid you not. I was talking to my fiance just the other day, and he brought it up to me. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, like, how do you deal with that? Dude, I think I was a hippie in my other life because I'm all about the peace. I'm all about love, peace, unity, respect, the whole plur action. And so when stuff like that happens, you kind of really are like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, who do you trust? But at the end of the day, you just gotta go for it. If this is something that you absolutely love, everything will fall into place. And you just gotta make the right decisions, and you just gotta stick with the right people, and it is what it is. And so, luckily,
how much of that is consistency?
In which way? Like, as in them, like getting different parts randomly, or
as part of the formula of success? If you have success is measured by I got the part. How much of success is consistency?
A lot. Okay, so for example, this film, I auditioned 2 years ago and barely started last year in November, right before the Thanksgiving holidays. That's when I started shooting, and it just came out. So you have to be able to do things in between while the other stuff is catching on and getting and getting edited and pushed out and get, everything that goes along with it. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that stuff like this really does take time. I mean, imagine huge budgeted films, like, and I said this on my story on Facebook. Imagine like the Avengers. How long do you think that took to not only do and film, but then the backside of it, all the editing, all the CG, all of this, all of that, and then it's insane. I think it's insane, but I think that that's what keeps you going. Being consistent with your work, putting stuff out there, getting more auditions in, and getting parts, and just kind of staying in that light until something that's big like this comes out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned your family is a huge support right now, and everybody's like so thrilled for you right now.
Yeah, just tell my two kids, who are totally embarrassed by this. They're like so embarrassed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's totally true. Because when I see like, oh, the Tonight Show or Jimmy Fallon or stuff like that,
yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, no, my kids are like, they're like, Mom, this is so embarrassing. And I'm kind of like, my kids would never do that. And then it turns out that they are like that. I'm just like, I'm not even like, oh, ooh, hi and mighty, I just began. And they're super, super like, no, Mom, it's so embarrassing. I'm not telling my friends. I'm not gonna tell my teacher. So it is what it is. But other than that, my family is amazing. My friends, especially, they're literally rooting me on the whole 9 yards, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy for that.
It's because kids just don't understand. I mean, I feel like we need to make that song. Kids just don't understand.
They don't. It's like, dude, do you even know like how amazing this is? Like, even I was in shock when I got the call from Orlando Pequeño, who is actually out of San Benito, and he's actually one of the EPs and executive producer, plus the editor. If you see the trailer, he did that. Tara, who is the producer, who has been absolutely amazing. And they were like, okay, when you and the hubby, well, my fiance, right, are together, make sure that you guys are sitting down. And at that time, he was driving to Brownsville and I was here at home. So I had to wait, and I'm just like, what is it? Like, tell me now. And I remember we put Orlando on speaker, and I kid you not, he was kind of just talking about it and, the process. And he's like, so with that being said, so Netflix bought it. And I'm just like looking like with these huge eyes, my jaw drops, and I'm like I couldn't literally speak that out.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to cut him off, but holy cheese balls. Like, how does that happen? Like, in another universe, it could happen. I mean, who would have thought? And I keep saying this, like, who would have thought, if I wouldn't have told myself, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it, got me the audition. And then all of a sudden you're sharing the screen with not only Alyssa, but with Christian de la Fuente, who is all about the novelas. My mom totally knew who he was. Oh my God, te tomas una foto con él y me la mandas y que blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, fine. And then Angel Parker, who a lot of people know from Disney's Lab Rats and Hulu's Marvel Runaways. Eva, who plays my daughter, she comes out in Greg's Anatomy. She has her own animated series right now and comes out in other stuff. And then you're kind of like, oh my God, like I'm sharing the screen with these people.
Yeah.
And then, para acabarla de moler, oh my God, it's on freaking Netflix. Like, like I'm
Yeah,
still like, wow, like does that stuff really happen? And obviously it does.
it does. It does, Brenda. Wow, man. And it goes back to, the wanting, the need, just you're being consistent with all of this, all the while still having to maintain a family household at home, and all the while still working, right? And you still were able to push through and persevere, and here we see you on Netflix. What an amazing story. So what's on the horizon for Brenda Garza?
Oh, oh my gosh. So there's more projects, definitely. Can't really talk about that right now just because I can't. But you know what? I'm heading back to school, getting my third degree now. So I'm smart, you guys. You got to have a plan A, and then this is my plan B, right? But I really want to learn more. I want to learn more about the industry. I want to know more. I love behind the scenes. I
Yeah.
love to edit. I love um, to and I get that. And the reason why I got that, because I love being in front of the camera, don't get me wrong. But working at Sylvan, I've gotten to do so many videos, write scripts, do the editing, and I absolutely love it. I
Right.
absolutely love that behind the scenes, feeding the lines to my coworkers because they're terrified of the camera,
Yeah.
feeding the lines to the kiddos
Wait,
because
wait,
they are
wait,
so
wait. Me miro gordo o no? A ver, this angle or that
de
angle?
este lado o de este lado. And then they're like, and then I'm trying to calm them down because they're forgetting their lines. And
Yeah.
I, I like that. I like that. It's so amazing. So I'm heading back to school to UTRGV, and see what comes out of that, and kind of just keep on, moving along. The one thing that I can definitely say that's missing in the Valley is just that representation.
Hmm.
When you really look at, how many, for example, you want to do this, where do you go?
Hmm.
Where do you go here in the Valley? Where do you
In other
go?
words, I think what you're trying to say is you need individuals to navigate you.
Exactly. Instead of you kind of like hit and miss, hit and miss, hit and miss. I've
Right.
been very fortunate. I thank my lucky stars for every single thing that I've done, because I personally, again, I've never auditioned. Everything's been like, Brenda, I love how you talk. Like, you're so like upbeat and you have all this energy. I think you'd be perfect for this. And I think you'd be perfect for that. Or you have friends that are like, Brenda, oh my gosh, there's this thing. I'm doing a music video and we want you part of it. Or, things like that. And so when you have those friends, again, that are pushing you,
Mhm.
that are helping you, it's amazing. But what about people that don't have that, that are not in, that they don't have friends that revolve around that type of of the industry itself? Where
Right.
do you go? And there really isn't anywhere to go. And I was literally looking at casting agencies, and I was like, maybe there's one here in the Valley, you know. Hey, no hay nada, no hay nada. Uh, the nearest one is Corpus. After that, it's San Antonio and up.
Hmm.
So if there's people here who really want to do this, they all think that you gotta leave, and it's like, no, it's here. You can stay here
Well, everybody's coming to Texas. That's what I keep on hearing. Everybody's leaving
because
California.
it's the food. The food is driving it, and you know it. It's the
It's all the
tacos.
tacos. I'm telling you.
It's all the tacos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite taco?
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to put this on blast, pero nothing is more delicious than los tacos de General Bravo, Nuevo León. Oh my God, that is insane. I'm sorry, and I'm my hometown from Mexico. Pero son tortillas de maíz recién hechas en la plancha, and everything's like, all the carne asada is out, and they're cutting it up into baby little pieces, like on that big
Wooden
it's like a
block.
log.
Yeah.
No, a log, like that log that, and they're cutting it up and then the salsas actually pica. Unlike here, you're like, does that one pica? And they're like, no. How about that one? They're like, no. I'm just like, well, then why are you serving me freaking
Oh,
pico, or
oh,
why are you serving me salsa?
hold on.
There's
I need
no.
hold on. I need to translate what Brenda Garza just said was that
Sorry about that.
she's
I'm going real Tex-Mex here. Sorry,
she,
sorry.
she just said that the tacos from General Bravo, Nuevo León, a place in Mexico,
Yes.
they cut up on a tree log. They cut up the meat, and they're there with the cleavers. Cleavers.
And the tortillas are actually like made there and
Yeah.
cooked there. Las tortillas. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's not. I haven't been able to find anything like that here.
And so,
But
so there's nothing that you've been able to find here in this area.
I
In
know I
Southeast area?
have. Yeah, no, I have a lot of favorites. But I don't want to like name call anybody. I don't want people to be like dogging me for saying, "Oh, that's her favorite. What about me?" I'm like,
Yeah. Wait, hey, if you want to endorse your taqueria here on the Joe's Blood podcast, reach us out, let us know, and you'll be the best.
yes, I will go and try it out. I promise.
You know what? We should probably do that. We should set up some cameras and just go try out some taquerias and just
Oh
rate
my
them.
gosh, that would be so awesome. I would love to do that. I would love it.
Personally, I think the taqueria is rated on their salsa. Like,
It
hands down.
is. Okay, so not to be like that, but for reals, I love spice. The spicier, the better. Oh my God. Delia's tamales, green salsa,
Ooh.
tops it. Ugh. I go for the salsa. I don't go for the tamales. Just kidding. I go for both.
Hey, just to let you know, we might have Delia, the owner, on the podcast pretty soon.
No way.
Yeah.
Tell her that I said that her freaking salsa and her chicken cheese are bomb.
We're gonna have to set that up. I'm telling you, Brenda Garza eats at Delia's Tamales. That's what's gonna happen.
Yes, and I'm so happy for them that they actually went all the way to San A. I like bravo. I love hearing the like, dude, that's fucking amazing. Sorry, again, my language, but that's amazing.
Lo que dijo la señorita fue que está muy bien.
Está con ganas.
Hi, Brenda. Hey, Brenda. So a little bit more back to this whole acting thing. Mm-hmm. And so does an individual have to have like an agent? Does an individual, guide us a little bit more with the process.
So what happened in my case is a little rare. Okay. And I think that the reason why they were having auditions here was because Orlando is from the Valley, mm-hmm. and they were going to shoot everything in the Valley. This film is all in the Valley, literally, entirely shot in the Valley. Okay.
That's in South Texas, right? The Rio Grande Valley?
Yes, like McAllen, Brownsville, Harlingen,
Right by South Padre Island?
Yeah, Mission and Rio Grande City. For those of you that think South Texas is in San Antonio, no. But okay, so like I was saying, it's rare for that to happen, and then not rare as though there's no auditions here. There are plenty of directors here in the Valley that are looking at for actors locally for their own projects. But when it comes to you wanting to get out there, it's not so much that you need an agent, but you need the agency, right? And why is that? Well, because they're the ones that are going to find you these jobs that are perfect for the type of characters that you want to play. For example, I am not athletic at all. So I would never really audition for an athletic, character. That's just not me. I'm sorry. I am allergic to working out. That's it. Bottom line. Sorry. I'm allergic. That's it. But at the end of the day, you have to know what type of characters you want to play.
Hold on,
um,
I just got a message from Herbalife saying if you're interested in the product.
no, I don't know this. Ugh. No, they're amazing. I have so many friends that do that, or that do Advocare, or that do a lot of other products. Trust me, I was an Advocare girl myself. Still am a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I was literally just telling my friend Vanessa, who's right now doing like a bodybuilding, but like the cool one where they look super pretty.
Yeah, the
I was
fitness.
like, yes,
Fitness
I was like,
competition.
girl, I might ask you to help me out here because just saying, when I become like famous, nah, just kidding, just to kind of like get more in tone. I'm telling you, I hate working out. I have to have the motivation right next to me, yelling at me, saying, do it, because if
Yeah.
not, I won't. But getting back to the subject, the agencies are really the ones that are going to push you forward. They're the ones that are going to tell you, okay, there's this part in this, whether it's a web series, whether it's for a film, whether it's for a series, whether it's for a commercial. And they'll tell you, luckily now it's a little bit better because we're doing everything through Zoom. If you're going to audition, you can always do it through Zoom from the comfort of your home, or you can take video of yourself and send it in after you see the script. But again, when you don't have that, you yourself have to go find it. So the advice I would give, any local actor or anyone that really wants to start is do what you can yourself, which is research. Go to YouTube. Oh my God, they will show you so many ways as to what to do, not to do in an audition tape, what you should be wearing, what not, what type of lighting, how you should face the camera, as well as go into Facebook, join groups, acting groups. There are so many. And research. I personally, I kid you not, I research all the time in my free time. I love knowing the behind the stuff of films, like I said before. So I'm always researching like the actors, where are they from? How did they get to where they are? What did they do? What's another thing that I have that I didn't know that I could add to my resume? For example, I love to sing. However, don't ask me to karaoke because I'm not gonna. But, maybe you love to sing. Hey, put that on your resume. You can sing. Maybe we're like in sports. You love to run. Hey, put on there that you're athletic, that you love to run, that you love cross country, whatever it is. These type of abilities will give you that extra boost, because if someone is looking for that in specific, they're going to go for that. They're going to be like, oh, they have that.
You know what? And I'm thinking in my head, don't ask me why, but maybe there needs to be like some kind of Tinder for agencies.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You're a match.
Yay! No, you know what? But they do have websites like that. So they have like Backstage, and they have a few other ones. And so basically, it's you having your resume out there. Putting up your pictures, taking headshots.
Is that still a thing? Do people still have to have headshots in black and white and color, etc.?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you do. Only because a lot of and don't always have a lot of makeup on either. Just it's a natural look. Of course, if you want to put on the makeup, it's more of a how can I say this? More of drama. Like if you're going for like this drama role and you need to look the part, like, right? Then in that case, by all means, because if you're natural, who the heck is going to know that you're upset in the headshot? And why are they going to get you to say, hey, I think that this girl would be good for this part if you look too nice, right?
What attracted you to the role of Luisa?
Dude, I channeled my mom on that one.
Really?
I totally channeled her and what she would do for me because
Yeah.
she's done it plenty, where she fights for me. Uh, and oh my god, that is such a funny story. I'll go back to that. But you know, I just channeled her. Her love for me. For a lot of people that don't know, I had this horrific accident, right? And so I remember in Reynosa, uh, llena de chapopote. It was a freak accident,
Mhm.
freak accident. Llena de chapopote from head to toe. I looked like a black corpse on this on the stretcher at the hospital, which was a
Chapap
general
chapapote
chapopote
in
tar.
English is tar.
Tar. Can you believe that? It was warm tar. Thank the Lords. They hadn't heated it up yet.
Mhm.
How we fell on there, again, freak accident. And so I kid you not, I ended up having uh, 7 broken ribs, fractured sternum, fractured collarbone, punctured lung. This was broken. I had like Wolverine had just slashed my back. You could see all the skin inside. This from here over, because for a lot of people that do know me, they already know me for my scar. Like it was flipped open, like flipped up. And so I had all these like rocks and whatever, and no one had put any like anything oxygen for me to breathe. They hadn't cleaned me. I was broken and like this, like barely moving. It was horrific. Like I think about it now, and it was just so horrific. Imagine your mom coming into the room and seeing you like that. Any parent, you would probably be freaking out. My mom, however, and I'm not sure if I can say bad words here, right? But, and she said this all in Spanish, so I'm sorry, English speaking folk. She was like, pero es que chingados que están haciendo, fíjate a mi hija, la, 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 y cómo no le han hecho nada, and why haven't you done this, you haven't cleaned her, to the nurses, the doctors, the police officers that were there,
Right.
she did not care. She was like, nope, this is my daughter, and I'm taking her to a private hospital, and they're like, but she's under custody. Sadly, a couple of people had passed away during the accident. But dude, just that conviction of a parent, that drive to make everything better for her daughter.
Mhm.
That was what drove me. When I read this, I was like, channel my mom. Channel my mom.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, like she did not care if there was police officers. She told off those police officers, like they were like peas in a pod, like nada. And so when I was auditioning and I was sweating, I'm not lying. I was like, get away, like oh my gosh, like fighting people off
Right.
to where I was sweating. So when I was talking, when I was doing Luisa, dude, I literally just had to search in me for that mom, which I am, but I've never had to experience something like that. But with my mom though, I had to channel her.
Yeah.
Mami, te quiero mucho por todas las canas verdes que te saqué. All those green, like all those sure white hairs that I took out of my mom. I feel so bad, but
Man. I mean,
yeah.
that's a great story, man. I mean, everybody has a story to tell, and your story
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. I've known of your story, and it's always a nice time for others to hear it. And like you mentioned, the struggle, that's human. That's human essence,
Mm-hmm.
right? That comes. What came to my mind almost immediately was that documentary, Las Tres Muertes de Marisela Escobedo. Have you seen that one?
I've heard of it. I have never seen it though, but I hear good things. But
Mm.
I've never had a chance to see it, and I love documentaries. Oh,
Yeah,
love them.
watch it with your mom. It's a beautiful.
Is it gonna make me cry? I'm a crier. Is it gonna make me
Eh,
cry? Like, do I need a Kleenex? Do I need
yeah, yeah, you probably do, but it's a great one. I mean, and
yeah.
it's one of those things where like what you just described about your mother is pretty much the same thing here. Um, the I'm not gonna give it away, but just that is the definition of a mother. I mean, that lady to me is a hero in my personal opinion.
Yeah. No, and here's more, right? So dur- after my operation, my facial reconstruction,
Hmm.
I couldn't see. My face was so swollen that just to see who was there, I literally had to pry my an eye open. And I didn't know this because I would keep asking people for mirrors.
Hmm.
My mom ordered the nurses to take every mirror out of that room, including the one in the restroom. And she told every single person that came to visit, which was a lot, because in Mexico, I love them. Oh my God. They let anybody pass no matter what, which is amazing because you feel that love. Um, and they don't feed you jello. They give you like sopas and tostadas and all this awesome food. Anyways, besides the point, but dude, I didn't know that she was telling every single person, do not see her and go, or oh my God, or your face, or she said, you go in there and you treat her like if nothing's wrong with her, and you do not make any faces, any type of oh my God, nothing,
Yeah.
because I don't want her to know what she looks like. I don't want her to have that visual in her brain forever. And so oh my gosh, when I found out, and this was years
Yeah.
later, I was just like, Mom, like, you did that? She's like, mijita, si te hubieras visto, mijita, te hubieras asustado. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I would have been scared because I couldn't see anything.
Hmm.
My eyes were just shut, like shut of how swollen they were. I can only imagine what my face looked like. I have no idea.
Right.
To this day, there is no picture. There is none.
Never happened.
No, I was bald. That was cool. So if I ever go bald again, I could totally rock it.
You know, your perception and your view on life on it, it completely it creates one of positivity, one that is much needed in a world where like almost every second is like negative Nancy's left and right. um so much props to you on that. I mean, it's much props to you because you've gone through an incident that has defined the person that you are now, and you're
Mm-hmm.
continuing to be that one individual that is strong, that is persistent, that is, you know, continuing along the journey of life. So that's a beautiful story. But here's a question that I want to ask right now. Okay, so where you're at right now and where you've been before, there's obviously an amazing story. And the story's not done yet because it's going to continue with Brenda Garza. And but what are you doing to prepare your children? Are they going into that same field of direction, or are they having different interests?
They have my daughter. She is a mini me.
Hmm.
She loves to dance. She is extraordinary at it. And she's already been in commercials with me. So
Really?
she's there. Yeah. So she's getting there. And then my son is he loves Fortnite right now. At first, he wanted to be a DJ, and I was like, yes, because I absolutely love DJs. I love them. They're amazing to me. Kind of like seeing a band or a singer. Eh, I'm more of a DJ chick. And then, but right now, I mean, he wants to be, it's all about the YouTubers. It's all about those gaming YouTubers. He wants to be one. I'm like, all right, you want to be one? Then research it. You want to be that, then you need he's 10. He
Right.
knows how to use a computer, he knows how to use YouTube, he knows how to use Google. Okay, research. What do you need? What equipment? What is it that they do? Say they have to have, how do you share the screen? What do you need for this to happen?
Right.
And then give me your solutions, because I don't want problems. I want the solution. So if you're going to need this, how are we going to get it done? JD, on the other hand, I mean, because of COVID and everything, I've had to kind of get her back from, her dancing and cheerleading and, all the good stuff. But dude, my house, it's like a whole playing field to her. It's crazy. But
Well,
yeah,
I would
she's
imagine for both of them. So,
yeah,
so the YouTuber one, your son,
Armin. Mm-hmm.
he wants to do the YouTube stuff. So
Yeah.
okay, I gotta ask you this question because I mean I'm a parent myself as well, and I've had these conversations with children.
Mm-hmm.
So do you encourage that? I mean, let me rephrase the question. It's not so much about the encouragement; it's about the reality and the reality of what we just described. Of what you're putting yourself out there, and get ready for the comments.
Mm. The good thing about kids is that you can, when you put YouTube videos that are kid related, they
Mm-hmm.
take away the comments. So that's great. And it's even adults can do that. So that's something that I have looked into. So they're not going to see any comments at all. But, it's a reality. And at the end of the day, if they want to do that, dude, everything is being streamed now. Everything. If that's something that they want to do, who am I to say no? I actually said no to the Wi-Fi. We just got Wi-Fi. So we didn't have anything. I was like, nope, I'm not getting it. Nope, you're going to be glued to the internet. You're not going to get off. You're always going to be on it, and there's going to be like no kids. And I feel for them because I didn't grow up like that. And you're playing outside with the rocks and the mud pies and making people eat it. And they are just stuck on, like, on their phones or on their gadgets or playing video games, watching YouTube, and you're kind of like you feel for them. But the reality is that that's the new reality. You just got to move on, kind of like COVID. That's our new reality, and we got to live through it. So to me, it's like, if they want to do that, I am not here to stop them. If not, I'm actually here to make their dreams even bigger than what they have for themselves. As parents, you have to do that. My fiance, Robert, he always tells me, how do you see this in them? Like, how do you do that? Maybe because I'm wondering to myself if that actually it wasn't like that with me.
Right.
I mean, my parents weren't like, yes, you're going to be this actress and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And I can see you in the spotlight, blah. No, they wanted you to be normal and get married, have the kids. And, not to say anything about, women that stay home, that in itself is a job. But that's basically what they had planned for me. And so when I talk to my kids, I envision it. I put it onto the world that they're going to be more than what they think they are. I tell JD all the time, I'm like, JD, you're going to become a backup dancer, and you are going to literally be J-Lo's backup dancer, and I'm going to go with you everywhere touring, because I know for a fact that J-Lo's going to be bomb.com by the time you get up and you like are there starting your stuff dancing. And she's like, what? And I'm like, just say yes. Just nod and say yes. Just nod and say yes. So, I mean, I see it, and I think every parent should do that. I think it not only puts it in their head that it's possible, but then they kind of are like, I want to reach that goal. Yeah. And it might change over the years, but at the end of the day, if you don't have that goal for them, they're not going to have one for themselves until they get older, and it might just fizzle out. But at the end of the day, at least you have that for them, and you're helping them along the line as well.
Hey, let's switch it up a notch. Most recently, there's been conversations about kids that are acting out, just doing whatever the heck they want to do, and maybe tackling some referees.
That was on the other side of Edinburgh, not my side. I'm from Edinburgh North. He's from Edinburgh High, and I'm not saying anything. I have a lot of friends from all over the place. I'm just kidding around.
No, but I want to get your opinion on this matter because it goes back to, you know, going back to what we were talking about, how we were talking about like individuals, the comments and so forth and everything, and most recently there was just a post being put out there where it says that's enough with the memes. You know, you got to remember this child is still an 18-year-old, but no, he's an 18-year-old. You know, he's still like, okay, so.
But, no, go.
So my biggest question is, what is your opinion on the matter? Because there's two parts to all of this. You know, there's a young individual side, and then there's the act of doing that creates a criminal act, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so this one's good, but I want to hear what your take is on the whole situation.
So here's the thing. Okay, and I'm gonna start off with the memes. That's what I was gonna. Okay, there are memes of the kiddos, and they're out there.
Yeah.
Right. So the memes, I'm sorry, it's gonna happen, and it is what it is. The general public has their opinion, and because of the internet, they can put it out there behind a screen with no one to tell them anything. Another reality. That's a reality. When I saw it once, and I was like, I can't see that anymore. Why is that? Because again, I think I was a hippie back in the day, and that just I can't watch that. I feel weird watching stuff like that. Like in me, I'm kind of like, okay, first of all, this already had happened. Why wasn't he, maybe suspended? Why wasn't he told something? Why didn't they get involved first?
Right.
Because then when they don't get involved, and this is just, I'm talking about school for right now. Hold on. So they're involved, but why are they not involving themselves more? Right. And so maybe if they would have, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe if they've noticed that aggression, they themselves as a school could have put him in some type of counseling. When you go home, nobody knows what happens in those four walls. Nobody knows. We don't know. We don't know if maybe the mom is struggling or if it's the other way around. We can't be judges. Stuff happens all the time in everyone's home. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe it's something that goes back generations.
Right.
Maybe there's so many possibilities. But you also need to be a parent, and if you've been noticing these aggressions, then get them the help that they need. Because I feel for him as soon as I saw it, and I kid you not, I just saw that I think today again, and I was like this, like poor ref. I feel bad for him, but if he showed these aggressions way before, when he was younger, why not get him the help that he needed then? And you can't, at the end of the day, you can't really blame anybody because you don't know who's at fault. You don't. And so I feel for him. I literally said his career is over. I feel so bad for him because, and I'll say this because, dude, what happens to someone, even in the NFL, when they are violent towards their spouse?
Well, hold on, because I mean,
what happened?
Hold on, because I don't think this kid has a career yet. I think this kid has an opportunity or had an opportunity to.
And hold on. I'm not saying like career as in, his total football career is over. No. I meant as though his career, because he's just starting. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if
his life's just starting.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a junior, a senior. I don't know, right?
Right.
But me saying that is because his career is over in a fact of right now, dude, you are in deep waters. But again, how do you overcome that, right? I've been through that. You've been through that. We've all been through that what was I thinking moment.
Right.
And sadly for him, it's plastered all over the place. But how can you come back from that,
Well,
right? And
that's
there
exactly what we're
another,
talking about. That
yeah.
the internet can really mess individuals up in this situation. And
Mm-hmm.
for anybody listening to, especially if you're 18 or 17, exactly, and stuff like this is happening to you, like you got to figure out a way to
To turn
tell
it
your
around.
tell your
Mhm.
story. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody else is going to tell it for you.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, he can come forward and say, "Look, this is my upbringing. Maybe that was the cause. Maybe he has a temperament anger issue that he himself needs to kind of address."
Right.
And at the end of the day, this could also be the point where it's the breaking point. You know what I mean? Or the his lowest point, and there's only one way to go from there, which is going up. He
Mhm.
can be now get the counseling that he needs and be a motivational speaker for anybody in that situation where the rage just literally got the best of them, and how can they do it to really kind of tone it down and address that issue themselves. I
Yeah.
mean, he can go so many which ways, but in the reality of it, if he's still in school, are they going to let him play again?
I
You
would hope not.
know,
I would hope not. I
I
mean,
mean,
again, definitely a definitely a teachable moment, not just for
mm-hmm.
him, but for the entire team. So what I was reading is that the entire team decided to go and protest the ban or the removal of the playoff seed. So then the whole team is completely with the consequence, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I personally have a nephew on that team, and that everybody's upset, right?
Yeah.
But again, it becomes a teachable moment, like you're saying, where okay, how do we how do we learn from this? How do we move forward from this so that it does not occur again,
Mm-hmm.
ever? So
I mean, I think it speaks volumes for them to put. I have like a pro, like, yeah, and then I'm kind of like,
yeah, don't get me wrong.
because
I'm completely against the whole situation. The act of going towards the referee is completely wrong. That should have never
yeah,
occurred. So the criminal aspect, that's taken care of.
yeah. I just think as though, did they have to go to that extremity? Like the
Of which
all the
one?
of them completely removing the entire team. I'm not sure about that because I feel as though a lot of the players, I mean, I'm just going to say all the players
Mhm.
have worked their butts off all this time to get to
Right.
that position, and because of that one bad seed or a bad judgment call, everyone is affected. And
Yeah.
it's so sad, and I feel badly for every single one of them, everybody involved, the parents who took the time to always drive their kid to practice, the student who worked their butts off to not only be good in school because no pass no play, and then all the practices that they went through, the coaches that really took the time and the
Yeah.
effort to be there and coaching and like, dude, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
But
No,
then again,
I
you're
get
kind
that.
of like,
I get
oh,
that. I get
if this
that.
doesn't teach
Yeah.
them something, it's going to teach every single team in the valley. That's for sure. It's
Right.
going to teach them, okay, dude, we don't do this, even though they should already know that. But
Yeah.
you know,
And
that's
I
like
get
kind
that. And the only thing that I would add to that is just like to create an analogy would be like COVID. You had
mm-hmm,
those that listened to the mandates. Let's wear a mask. Let's do this. However, you still had a good amount of individuals who were saying, "Well, my liberties are being uh, they're being breached,"
mm-hmm,
and so forth. I have a constitutional amendment to not wear a mask, etc. Well, okay, guy, but you're not wearing a mask. We're continuing with the cases. The overload in the hospitals is still continuing. The deaths are still continuing. So it's a very tough time, and I completely understand that. But for anybody listening out there, that if you have are definitely struggling with this pandemic issue, you know it, you have to have some kind of plan of action, and you got to still reason. You can't react, and
Mhm.
that's what this is. That's what this boils down to, the reacting portion of all of this. But tonight, guess what we're doing?
What? What are you doing?
We are going to be watching You Are My Home on Netflix. And we're going to
Yay!
be watching it with the entire family. And you know what? This might be a time, if we're upset, this has a very beautiful message, right?
It really does. A lot of from all the love and support that I've been getting, and they ask me questions, and then the only thing that I can come up with is, at least in my perspective, right? I don't think that there's a political agenda whatsoever, film or anything. Who might think whatever they want to think, right? Everyone has
Right.
are entitled to their opinion. Personally, I feel this film is basically about having that innate compassion for one another.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen and it's not in our control, but this is something that's happening to your child's schoolmate. These are
Mhm.
things that are happening to maybe your neighbors. You never know. And, you know, I feel as though I've only seen it once and I haven't seen it after that. I'm kind of like, I don't want to see myself. But every time that I really talk about the film, everyone's like, oh my God, I couldn't stop crying. And oh my God, this part. And I felt for her. And oh my gosh, if people could just really, grasp just a little bit of what really happens to the people when, stuff like this happens, then maybe they'll just understand just a little bit more and have a little bit more compassion for one another.
And
We're
when
all
she's
human,
what
we're
Brenda
all
Garza
human.
is talking about is the immigration issues that are happening along the border, the town
Yes.
communities. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, biggest message that I got from the film is empathize, understand,
Mm-hmm.
communicate, and show compassion. Somebody wise told me this. If you have learned one thing, is gonna be this: common sense should always prevail.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's a
know,
good one.
and
I
and
that in itself, I've always believed in, if you do good to others, it reciprocates to you. It comes back to you.
yeah,
I've never I don't think that there's a malicious bone in my body, even if I tried. Maybe I'll act it out in a film or something. But I literally, in all honesty, I always try to defend those that cannot defend themselves.
right.
I always try to be the best that I can be for others when they
Mhm.
need me. My friends and my family know this. They're like, if they need me, I'm there. If they
Yeah.
need something and I don't know the answer, I'll get it for them. So I think it's just that, just give out good and good will come back to you. It's
Yeah,
that simple.
put out the vibes, put out the good
Mm-hmm.
vibes. Brenda Garza, it's been amazing having you here today at the Joe's Bud podcast. We really appreciate you being out here, and again, we'll see you again at the next episode.
Thank you for having me. Bye bye.
Man, do good, do better.